progress has been made. However, the Ministry has set out plans to see its implementation in the coming months. As we speak, my Ministry is holding a 3-day National Employment Conference, the first conference on its kind in Somalia that has brought together key stakeholders with the objective of discussing concrete solutions for addressing unemployment. And this conference also provides an opportunity to initiate dialogue required to establish a National Employment Council. This council is intended to be a high-level body composed of various stakeholders and will be responsible for steering the implementation of the employment policy. Last but not least, as a nation, we must build the skills that are necessary to foster economic growth. A TVET policy has been developed and expected to be launched early next year. A joint and sustained action will be required to secure quality training and to create new opportunities for our youth, and we will be working closely with our partners to realize this. Finally, I wish to thank our partners for their hard work and commitment shown towards supporting important initiatives that aim to support our most vulnerable as well as investing in our country's human capital. I would like to thank you, Prime Minister, for giving me this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Duran. Let me welcome the Italian delegation.
Thank you, Prime Minister. So we started this day with acknowledging that the capacity of the state institution in Somalia is gradually strengthening. And we also spoke about inclusiveness, mainly in the sense of states, member states, etc. But I don't want to forget, which could mean inclusivity and access to health and education sector for the Somali population. This year started very badly, we can say, and this is a symptom of capacity of resilience nowadays of the Somali institution. Particularly the Ministry of Health started with a tremendous challenge, with a crisis, terrible crisis on human resources, the very early this year, and then was the COVID. Despite that, the government and the ministry continued with their guidance in facing this tremendous challenge of the COVID, organized and collaborating and coordinating with all of us. And I really would like to congratulate with that. Good health is the cornerstone of well-being of individuals, families, communities, and the whole society in general. In combination with high-quality education, they are vital for sustainable economy and development of Somalia, as well building peace. There will be no peace without a social contract. Social contract means it was mentioned today, in providing services. These services must be done, must be provided by the state. In the future, we must avoid intermediation. So little by little, the state must recover its role in providing services in education, in health, and in justice. With a good social contract, every people will defend the authorities. If they receive services from the state, they will be with us, with the government. That's why I know the difficulties, Minister Bailey, about the budget and so on, but I can assure you that every cent spent in the social contract and the services provided by the state will be good money, good spent. And we as donors, we are ready. I know that the World Bank is doing a good job in strengthening institutions in accountability and transparency. We, the donors, are very ready for budget support and support to projects directly done by the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now let me pass to the US Ambassador Yamamoto. I think he's online.
Ambassador Yamamoto had to leave, so I'll make it. I'll be very points. But also to put together press in such a short time frame. Very good candidates and some good.
I think the line is back. Maybe we could access. Can you hear him? Maybe we could
environment that brings investment and resources in the country, that allows people to develop their livelihoods and take care of.
I can see the network from US is very bad, so let's jump to the Finland. Ambassador Eric
focus should be on is on these.
We can't hear you. Can you stop, please?
Food security, environment, infrastructure, action and turning policies and strategies.
Okay. Thank you. Let us go to the Ambassador Eric Lundberg from Finland.
Very easy win for promoting now.
Yeah. Okay. Can you disconnect, please? Yeah. Okay. Okay, China. Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, Premier Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and cabinet members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. So I would like to take this opportunity to share ideas and suggestions with Somali friends and my colleagues. So, because this topic is related to social economic recovery for the COVID-19 and climate related shocks. Two topics are related with Somali, also are important to Somali. Yeah. So topics are social economic recovery and economic development from COVID-19 and in future. Another topic is climate related. So regarding COVID-19, as you know, it is still spreading in the world. From this is from today meeting. So everybody is bringing masks. Yeah. So China has won major strategic achievement in the fight of COVID-19 and the stronger leadership of CPC Central Committee as Comrade Xi Jinping as call. Yeah. So China would like to provide strong assistance and support to every countries in the world, including Somalia. So Somalia is affected by COVID-19 and climate change. So I hope we call on international community should provide strong support to Somalia. International community should set up funds to Somalia, to countries in the world like Somalia. Yeah, because as you know, it's a relative international community and humanity. So Chinese advocates, humanity is a community with a shared future. So you can see, and also, this epidemic of COVID-19 have fully shown humanity is a community with shared future, So solidarity and cooperation is a powerful weapon for international community in fighting COVID-19. You can see, you can think of it. Yeah. So in recent days, I interviewed by SNTV. So some Somali friends ask about China relations with Somalia. As you know, this year marks 60th anniversary of establishment diplomatic relations between China and Somalia. And so, the world is undergoing momentous change and scene in the century. International situation is ongoing, major change, and peace, stability, and general trade, and helping forward. We sincere Somali more achievements in the pursuit of lasting peace and sowing development prosperity with coming of next year. So how to develop a Somali economy? So I think Somali should focus on Somali advantage. I mentioned many times with Somali friends. Somalia has many advantages and potentials, great potentials. So we have published my articles on the SONA. So Somalia should transfer advantage and greater potential to the achievements of development. This is very important. So Somalia should develop its own independence, development of capacity. This is very important for Somalia. So China cannot export to its own developing model. China is not interested in it. Even if we are discussing of Somali economic development, I would suggest Somalia should develop their fishery industry. So through development of Somali fishery, Somalia can create foreign currency and increase job and to improve people lively hard. So Somalia should focus on one or two industries. Somalia should collect talents and experts to study economic development. And recently, China concluded the 5th plenary session of 19th CPC Central Committee adopted recommendation for formulating and China's 14th five-year plan. We have now, Somalia has formulated 9 national diplomatic plan. Yeah, so China would like to strong cooperation between our two sides. Yeah, so China will finish building moderately prosperous society in all the respects, and also will stay committed a new development philosophy and actively foster a new development paradigm with domestic circulations as mainstay and domestic and international circulations reinforcing each other. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Somalia could attend China and World International Expo. Yeah. So Somalia can show their fishery products to China. China market, huge market, welcome Somali fishery production to China. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the ambassador from China. Now I would like to welcome the United Nations.
Thank you, Prime Minister, Presidents of Federal Member States, Excellencies, all protocols observed. I'm here stepping in for the DSRSG Resident Coordinator, Humanitarian Coordinator. I would like to raise 3 points, if I may, very briefly, in the interests of time, that have been alluded to before, but I think deserve highlighting. First of all, I'd like to stress that we collectively have the opportunity to provide an integrated response to the COVID-19 crisis by simultaneously addressing socioeconomic needs, strengthening resilience of communities and society as a whole, promoting social cohesion, using natural resources in a sustainable manner, and adapting to climate change. All of these things have been mentioned, but I would like to urge that we look at the going forward at a collaboration between both government and partners through an optic of the humanitarian development and peace nexus, with the idea of shifting away from the cyclical short-term humanitarian responses and towards more sustainable solutions aimed at longer-term resilience and development outcomes. The second 2 points I'd like to make are 2 things that I think is worth remembering as we move forward in the social economic recovery. One is human rights, and I'd like to mention 2 points in this respect. First of all, I'd like to commend the government for agreeing to the moratorium on forced evictions around elections. I think this is a very important point. The second aims, I would also like to commend the work that has been done in developing the sexual offences bill, and I would urge that this be tabled to Parliament. The third point I'd like to make is I'd like to welcome the efforts being made towards the advance of the Somali Women's Charter, which speaks to commitments to the 1325 and reinforces zero tolerance of sexual gender-based violence. And these are all captured in the National Action Plan to End Sexual Violence, and I'd like to commend that. This was mentioned by the SRSG, and we welcome the commitment of the government to a minimum of 30% women's representation in Parliament. And we look forward to supporting the government in this respect. Thank you.
Let me call USAID Director, Mr. Bad.
Prime Minister, My name's Brian France. I'm the deputy for USA, and my boss, Patrick, I think his system shut. Very quickly run through a few points that I think he had wanted to make, and again, I think we did want to. Somalia's future development prospects did not, in our view, get the international recognition it deserved due to the onset of the COVID pandemic. Also, you know, as part of international support with Somali priorities. Yeah, just before he got cut off. That should be straightforward. Continue demonstrate its commitment to a sustained economic reform trajectory. The audit bill across the finish line. Understand really only requires the president get it through all the way through both chambers of parliament. Be a great signal of the government's commitment to transparency and accountability. The last thing we just wanted to note is
Excellent.
For the last year or so, and I think the highlight of that being the fiscal trend.
Brian,
budget.
We are experiencing internet challenges on our side, Brian. On behalf of the Prime Minister, I would request that you stop at that.
Can you stop? Okay. Can you stop? Okay, let me pass to the delegation from Spain. He left, eh? Okay. Halim Ismail Ibrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have two small issues on regards to the communique. One is when it was mentioning the election commission, the 8th line of the 4th paragraph, and the commission is independent election commission, not independent election committee. So it has to be corrected, and I will kindly ask to add preserving its mandate. That point. Another point is the woman issue. In the court and reading the communique, what we have seen, it's not enough, and we are pleased to note that the issue of the 30% quota for women has been highlighted in the communique. However, we fear that in the absence of a clear defined mechanism, the achievement of the 30% will be a major challenge. The experience of 2016 process provide further evidence to that effect. We propose that the communique refer to a specific mechanism that will deliver the 30% seat for women. We need some elevated language to deliver the 30% commitment, and we really thank the Prime Minister and the Presidents of the federal member states who really supported the 30%. We are kind of asking a mechanism to safeguard the 30% and to nominate the women's ambassadors, goodwill ambassadors like last time. We really know that they worked hard in order to assure the 30%, and that's why now we have 24%. Sorry, I'm the chair of the Election Commission, but being the chair of Election Commission, I have to support those who has been forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Halima. So let's go to the Minister Mohamed Rassaq, who will do the communique. So please.
Thank you, Excellency, Prime Minister. I think we have all reached that point we have all been looking forward to, which is the communique. Not only because it's at the end of the day, but this is one of the most important things that a conference like this produces. The communique, as has been the practice in years past, the substantive issues have been discussed, negotiated, and synthesized into what is in front of you. The communique has been distributed, and those who are joining us by the internet, online, it has been sent to them by email. So the assumption is that you have all read it. Let me take this opportunity to thank all those who have worked on this and have negotiated this language. So in terms of substance, it's already there. However, for the sake of clarity, if there needs to be small points for language that need to be changed, I am going to take a couple of requests to do so. And again, the emphasis here is for the sake of clarity. I have listened to Madam Chair Halima Ibrahim, and we note it. So is the communique team, the drafting team, can you? Yeah? You have taken that into account. Okay? Ambassador Berlanga.
Thank you, Minister. I already told to the drafting committee, but I would like to submit it to you and to the plenary. In the fourth paragraph, which is the paragraph talking about elections, in the middle of the paragraph it says of a pathway to one person, one vote federal election in 24-25 with benchmarks and accountability mechanisms that reflect meaningful progress, comma. For example, I will propose to replace for example by in particular, or notably. It means, is this the idea that I said this morning, that we should not only envisage 24-25, but also from now on, election that will happen at local and state level. So it may say with benchmarks and accountability mechanisms that reflect meaningful progress, in particular direct election at the local and state levels along the way.
Thank you, Ambassador. Noted and accepted as it makes the language more clearer. I don't see any other interventions at this point. You have all read it, and I'm going to go outside and read it now, summarize it in Somali after we have concluded here. But if no other comments, let's adopt it. Let's see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Abdulrazak. I think we had a long but productive day. We have covered all of the topics, fruitful discussions. We adopted the Communique and endorsed the mutual accountability framework. I would like now to welcome the Prime Minister to conclude the meeting and have the closing remarks. The Prime Minister, welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
Thank you. Excellencies, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for a productive event. I'm glad to hear that you all agree on the importance of the Somalia Partnership Forum to provide for a privileged space for a high-level dialogue with the international community and a number of key stakeholders. I would like to personally thank the leader of the federal member states for their participation and for giving us an overview on political, security and social economic situation in their states. As I have said on a number of occasions and repeated here today, I am proud of the political agreement reached by the federal government and federal member states on the political agreement on the election model as well as the process of holding the election. Your Excellencies, elections are an important element of our democracy, and I understand the duty and responsibility of my government in ensuring we hold a timely, transparent and consensus-based election. So let me make a few important points. We are aware of the concerns being expressed in some quarters, and as I have said many times, including in this meeting, we are open to meet with all, but as has been raised again and again during this meeting, there is no role for those who call for breaking the law and threaten to the peace dividend we have all worked so hard to achieve. On the question of the consensus political agreement on the election model, I'm glad to hear we are in agreement that we can't afford to reopen it. This will cause delay and undermine the credibility of the election in the eyes of the Somali public. I will be visiting the federal member states from next week to continue our important discussions, and will be followed by a meeting in Muqdisho with all federal member states. However, we must avoid a delay to the implementation of the election agreement as agreed by all stakeholders. As part of this, I call upon Jubaland and Puntland to nominate their respective election committees and fulfill their commitments to the political agreement. On the matter of the ghetto, I would like to reiterate the forces present are Somali security forces, and we must accept that communities across the country should feel protected and supported by the federal government of Somalia. But the issue will resolve through the peaceful way. We have fulfilled fully the agreement signed by all stakeholders, including the process for electing member of parliaments from Somaliland, and have concluded a true consultation as required by the agreement. I can assure you this has been a I reaffirm the government commitment to uphold and realizing the 30% women quota. This is the least that we can do to developing a more fair security. With respect to the Somali National Army reform, I called upon the World Bank to re-engage immediately so that we can complete the implementation of the reform agenda. Somalia has faced many threats, including the ongoing COVID-19, locust invasion, and floods in the past year. The support provided by our international partners has been significant, and I call upon you all to redouble your efforts in supporting local communities. I would like to thank both UK and Sweden for their active support for the WTO accession, which would unleash the business initiative of the Somali's private sector. I would like to thank you all for endorsing the Mutual Accountability Framework commitments for 2021 after receiving a report on the progress of implementation of the 2019 and 2020 milestone and on the impact of COVID-19. We understand that there are several challenges that remain, particularly around the elections. This is an important priority for me and will be my main topic of discussion during my regional tour to the federal member states. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to praise the team that has been steadily and meticulously been preparing this event. The Air Coordination Unit, the Office of Prime Minister, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Thank you. The 2020 Somali Partnership Forum is officially closed. Thank you again.